Good morning. Let's talk about the next stage of the estimating process. Now we've gathered a bunch of statistics, first about the nature of the transactional or business event data, the reference data, the frequency with which we need reports, and also then about a bunch of the reports, using the report processes to refine all of those original estimates, find more data that we needed. We've done all of that process, and now we've got a bunch of statistics. Now we have some sense of how many records need to be read, how many records are extracted, how many joins we have to do, all of those kinds of things we talked about in the last video for producing our reports. Now the question is, what size of machine do we need to be able to produce that within the window we have available to us? This isn't a theoretical exercise. There has to be some practical application here. Yes, computers are predictable and it's deterministic how long things take, but the number of variables is quite large. So it's more efficient for us to get some practical experience with the hardware and software that we're thinking of using, and then use that to estimate and test and see how long it would take to produce our reports. So what this requires is getting some sort of an environment using the kind of software and the kind of hardware you would anticipate building your metric engine with, and then doing some level of mocking up data or finding data if you can. That's a better answer than mocking up data, and trying to do some simple type of read processes. Some instances you may simply scan input data in some way, see how fast you can do those scans, or do selections for, if you're using a database, for some large number of values and see how long it takes. Do some write processes. How long does it take me to take and write data? Maybe the program doesn't even read data, it simply generates data and inserts it into the database or writes it out to the files. Do the same thing with the way you're going to do join processes. So it's okay to isolate these sorts of things and get some sense, but then you'll need to figure out some way of combining those metrics together to come up with an estimate of how long and how big of a machine you'll need. And those are going to be the two variables you're going to vary through this process, is how big and how long. Because you can make something that runs a very long time in a very small environment, but if you have to do it very fast, you're going to need a much larger environment. The efficiency of the tools you use to get the data into memory and then to do the processing against that data in memory is going to be the primary driver for this sort of process, how long things take and how much they will cost. So it's important to choose tools that are efficient. And some instances I've found that actually, tools that were built for the wrong kinds, for different kinds of process, end up taking a very long time to do something that should be done in a much shorter time frame. Perhaps we'll talk about that in the next video. I hope this is helpful in building your own metric engine.